communication. Verbal communication is sending, receiving, and interpreting ideas with the help of language and words. It comprises the exchange of knowledge, opinions, and information in oral and written format. Verbal communication involves sharing ideas via letters, texting, speeches, debates, etc. This method of communication can easily divide into the following two parts: oral or spoken communication, written communication. The oral or spoken communication style includes exchanging ideas by talking about them. Both the sender and receiver express their thoughts by using words to communicate. This method of communication is the most used. However, it is the most unreliable method as there is no track record or evidence of the statements passed during an interaction. One can quickly back off or deny previously agreed reports. Examples of oral communication would be classroom discussions, podcasts, phone calls, etc. One must control their voice and tone while using this form of communication. The style of the speaker must align with the words being spoken. For example, if someone announces news of a death cheerfully, it would hurt the sentiments of the mourning people. The speaker must choose their words carefully while communicating, as one wrong word could change the meaning of the whole sentence. The oral communication must be gripping, engaging, and interesting for the listeners, as the audience tends to lose attention quickly. The speaker must ensure the audience's attention by asking them questions in between and involving them in the discussion. Written communication. The written communication style involves exchanging information and ideas via writing and can use forms of verbal communication widely in professional areas. It provides clear and explicit insight into the interests of the parties involved. The information shared through written communication can quickly be recorded and tracked if needed. It is the most reliable form of communication. Examples of written communication include contracts, reports, articles, poems, etc. Written communication involves selecting the right words and emphasizing their spellings, punctuation, and grammar. Written messages with wrong spelling or grammar often lead to negative feedback. The writer should make their writing conversational and not a textbook lesson. It should not be mentally tiring for the reader to read your message. The writer should include their honest opinions while conversing and not to copy paste from the web. The writer should draft communication with genuine, original, and exciting content for the reader to read and interpret. The sender must focus on giving the reader a sense of reality through their words. Advantages of verbal communication. The advantages of conveying your ideas and emotions through verbal communication are as follows. Quick and time saving. Verbal communication is instant and saves time for both the sender and receiver. You can quickly deliver the message and clear any raised doubts or confusion. For example, you shared an idea with your teammates as soon as you thought about it. Maintains privacy. The vocal style of communication maintains privacy and secrecy. Whether it is an oral form of communication or written, the conversations and messages stay with the sender and receiver only. No third party can access it without the owner's permission. For example, WhatsApp's end-to-end encryption feature protects your privacy. Faster feedback. Verbal communication lets the sender receive feedback regarding their message quickly. One has the privilege to discuss an idea, take suggestions from others, and modify it simultaneously. For example, they proposed an idea for a school project, listened to their friends' recommendations, and came up with better ideas. Disadvantages of verbal communication. There are certain disadvantages associated with verbal communication style. One must be cautious of these limitations while drafting their message to avoid confusion afterwards. Some common disadvantages of oral communication are mentioned below. No rectification. The sender cannot rectify or edit the message after it is delivered to the audience. The mistakes are also likely to hamper the sender's reputation and credibility. The sender will have to open a new conversation thread to provide correct and edited information. Example: the words morning and morning sound and spell quite similar, but using one in place of another are likely to create confusion. Highly flexible. The flow of conversation could change at any time. The conversation can be easily moved in different directions and away from the topic. It takes a lot of effort to concentrate on one topic and exchange ideas. Example: friends start to gossip during group studies. Language barriers. Language barriers are a big hurdle in verbal communication. The sender and the receiver might not fully understand each other's language, which could lead to a misunderstanding of the message. Example: our parents are not likely to comprehend modern day abbreviations like LOL, YOLO, etc. Public speaking. Public speaking refers to interacting with an audience to influence them with your message and ideas. Public speaking is a big part of verbal communication. It is also one of the most demanded skills currently. We use and need this form of communication more often than we recognize. A student giving a speech in a school assembly is a form of public speaking. Presenting a proposal in front of clients is also an example of public speaking. A public address will be labeled successful upon receiving favorable or unfavorable responses from the audience. You can master the art of public speaking by using 3 P's: prepare, practice, and perform. The speaker must consider the following 3 P's while interacting with an audience to ensure the best results. Prepare. Prepare refers to creating and organizing the content. Understand the topic, subtopics, and the tone of your speech. Create content in alignment with your audience's understanding level. This means that your content should be specific to your audience. You cannot expect kids to understand the concepts of physics and chemistry. The content must be explicit to the topic and focus on resolving the audience's queries. Practice. You should make the saying, "Practice makes a man perfect," your anthem. Public speaking is not an easy skill to acquire. Therefore, you need to keep practicing. Speakers should practice their speeches multiple times before going on stage. It helps find the best suitable tone and body language for the speaker to follow. One of the most common practice methods is speaking in front of a mirror. Perform. Once you have prepared and practiced the content, it is time to perform and share your ideas with the audience. Your speech should appear candid and natural and not a reading session. While performing, the speaker must focus on establishing a connection with the listeners and keep their speech engaging and interesting.